Hello and welcome back to the Little Scale Cars YouTube channel. Today we're going over the second car that I'll be reviewing from Exotic Envy. We've got the Alfa Romeo 33 Stradale. Alright, let's get right into it here for the casting. So this is the casting's second release. The first ever was for Boulevard, which that series of Boulevard wasn't too hard to find in most areas, unlike the newer mixes of Boulevard, which are not easy to find, but we're going to get right into it. We have plastic headlights on this one, so you won't ever have to worry about getting this release that doesn't have headlights done, if this casting were to ever go mainline or anything like that. A cool thing that I noticed about this was the interior piece. So you've got the engine, the interior of the car itself actually wraps around to the bottom and is included with this exhaust. Now that's just a tiny detail that I really like. I think it's cool. Kind of, I don't know, a little extra detail that makes it a little nicer, in my opinion. The proportions of this are great, I think. This is one of the better proportioned Hot Wheels cars. The last thing I'd like to mention is this little back vent is actually casted in there. It's not just a decal, so that's cool. I really like that. We're going to go ahead and move on to paint and deco. Alright, so all the real-life versions of this car were red, as far as I know. I think there may have been one blue one. So I was actually expecting this release to be blue when it first was announced, I suppose, that this was going to be included in Exotic Envy, but we hadn't had any pictures of it yet. But what we got was this nice race-inspired deco. We've got 33 on the numbers because Alfa 33, obviously. We got some little Alfa Romeo badges right here. Also have a little logo back here. We've got the clovers there, which I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce. So yeah, it came out very good looking. It's a race-inspired look, obviously. I quite like it, honestly. I think it, despite not being historically accurate or based off of any real car as far as I know, it came out looking nice. It looks cool, and it looks like something that could have gone on an Alfa 33, so not bad. Moving on to our details here. We have all these vents right here, and on the other side as well. On the original Boulevard release, I remember having one heck of a time finding this car where these were aligned properly. So this part is actually casted in ever so slightly. So this tampo has to be on there pretty nice. Otherwise, it's going to be very off-putting, I guess. It's going to be easier to tell that it's not aligned properly. And I had a heck of a time finding the Boulevard version that was done properly. Not so with this one. I have not had any issue seeing, this is one of the ones that has been easier to see in stores. Haven't had any issues with that. We do have the window trim detailed on, so this is part of the detailing, which is really nice to see. The only things I would have liked to see maybe different were the number plates here. I'd like to maybe see a black outline around the circle, make it a little bit more pronounced, a little bit easier to see, especially up front here where it kind of blends into this white livery bit. And finally, for the details here, we have these white wheels, which I don't love, if I'm going to be honest with you. I think they look a little bit too plasticky, and I think someone even mentioned that on my Instagram post of this car. And I completely agree with them. I don't know, do we not have chrome rear riders? Can we not get these rear riders in chrome? Because I think that would look perfect. And honestly, even with the Boulevard release of this casting, it had gray, I believe these same wheels. But I just think chrome, if we could get that to happen, that'd be great. Obviously, we have everything you'd expect to see up front. We have the Alfa Romeo logo, ever so tinily put on there. And in the back, we have our taillights, as you would expect to see them. So now, get ready for a roll test. Does the Hot Wheels Premium casting roll? Yes, obviously it does, and it rolls very nicely. So our pros and cons. Well, let's go over the pros first. We have our excellent proportions. Looks fantastic from every angle. We have improved detailing as far as the placement of the tampos and things like that go. Alright, and then the interior looks great. You can see in there perfectly, looks classic, and it actually, the piece, as we talked about earlier, wraps around to the bottom, which is a nice little touch that I really, really like. And for our cons, we really only have two on this one. Once again, we have the $7 price tag that the premiums have rose to. Unfortunate, but this casting is only available in premium at the moment, so I'm not going to dock it too much for that. And then the wheels, again, I just feel like they're just a little bit too plastic looking, but, you know, it's not the worst. I think perhaps a different color would have just looked a little nicer. Alright, so my overall thoughts on the Alfa 33. I think that this is about as good of a choice as we could have gotten for a classic representation in Exotic Envy. This is one of the best castings that we have of what one would just say is an exotic car, a classic exotic. This is only the second release for this casting, so it's not one that's been overdone. I do wish the wheels were slightly better, but other than that, that's my really only gripe. So overall, I'm going to give it a 7.5 out of 10. And that will conclude my review of the Alfa Romeo 33 Stradale from Exotic Envy. Let me know what you guys think of this release down in the comments down below. Make sure you hit the like button and subscribe if you're new, and I will see you guys in the next video.